Okay, welcome to the PlayStation Plus podcast, episode 30. We've actually done 30 of these. We have a special guest, Zap Crystal of ZapTv, that's joining us today. It was great to get a message from her this week, and she's like, I got some free time. And also, before I forget, because we can't forget about the mothers, happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Appreciate you making time for us on Mother's Day, Zap Crystal, because I know you're your mother there. I've been enjoying I'm newer to your channel. I've been there for a couple months now. Maybe if you want to give an intro to your channel, what the types of vids you like to do. I know, but for the audience.
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. My name is Zap. Y'all know me for Zap Crystal. I do all things gaming and 90s nostalgia. We have different video formats on our channel, such as convention coverage, podcasts, talk shows. We do game reviews, let's plays, you name it. I got a little of everything in that channel, but also we have a 90s nostalgia. So we have like a series from Treasures from My Childhood where I cover all the treasures and all the secret gems from my childhood. And we kind of bring it in a fun little episodes for everybody to cherish. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying. I've checked out your Flintstones. I'm like, I had those mugs forever, and then I even had them when I got married. And my wife eventually was like, "We don't use these mugs." But I love my wife, but she's a little bit. We're opposites that way. Where I collect too much, and she's like, "Do we need this?" But man, it was great to see in your vid, even though I don't have them anymore. But those mugs, I had those. You have the VHS tapes. You're a big Pac-Man fan. Pac-Man as well.
Miss Pac-Man, yep. That's my holy grail right there.
Okay. And you have an arcade in your house.
Yeah, that's my latest baby. That's my latest project. It's still under construction, but we're getting there.
Yeah, right. I can totally agree with that because I'm trying to turn my little apartment into an arcade as well. So I understand.
It's so much work, bro.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's been a fun little experience. I'm thankful, I'm blessed that I'm married to a gamer because I can do all these little crazy projects and ideas that I have in my head, and just having him support me. Like, for example, like I told him, I said, hey, I want a barcade experience in my dining room. Can we make that happen? And he was like, go for it. And I was like, yes, let's do it.
Yes.
I'm a little jealous there. In my dining room. I'm going to ask my wife if I could do that as soon as this. Retro Bro is here. He's got another channel.
What's up, Retro Bro?
Yeah. And I want to focus on Crystal, but yes, her new husband, congratulations. Also has a channel, and they have separate channel. Like they do collab, but they're really both established channels. And I've been like watching both. It's really cool. They share a lot too. Like they're very open about meeting and getting married and stuff. So that's like refreshing too to see a couple. So go check out. I'll link ZapTV's channel. And then before I forget, we're talking about you, but I also want to say that Steve. Mr. Rightway does have a cool contest going on where he's giving away a PS3. I already have one, or I would enter. But anyone looking for a PS3 with some cool games, go enter. That means you, Eddie. Are you looking for a PS3?
Well, PS3. Why would I want a PS3?
Oh, come! Do you know what channel? Do you know what podcast you're on, Eddie? We love it.
Wait, you got to tell him what kind of PS3 though.
It's that little thick one, you know what I mean? That fat one.
Mm-hmm. The
curvy one.
Yeah, so we'll not let you play all the PS2 stuff, Eddie.
Okay, see,
I don't need a PS3. I need a PS5.
Oh well.
I mean, it's thick too.
Well, maybe
it's true. They both are.
Maybe next year. It's a little hard to do a PS5 giveaway. We can barely get them for ourselves. Although you have a PS5, Crystal, I think.
Yes, I do. We picked it up day one when everybody was still struggling because we had it pre-ordered because we kind of knew that was going to happen. So we have the PS5, we have the Xbox One X Series 2 here. But generally I don't play a lot in my free time. It's more for work when we're covering games for game reviews and stuff. But now I'm getting into it. Like now in my free time, I'm actually trying to play some games, especially the Xbox, because I know this is a PlayStation, but I'm just saying the Game Pass is pretty tight. They got a neat library of games for the Game Pass, so I've been enjoying that to its fullest.
Oh, we're not really strict on rules here. We've had accusations that I don't even cover PlayStation on the PlayStation.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, Daddy, we could talk about the Amico.
I knew that was coming.
Amico.
We knew that was coming.
We love Eddie, but we're Crystal. So Eddie sometimes is misunderstood. We love him here because he's also a movie talk, but he's kind of. And this is kind of what's happening with some people, like in the general gaming. They've lost a little bit of interest in gaming recently with the lack of releases, basically. He's like, I'm ready to game, but there's nothing coming out. So maybe you should reconsider the PS3. You missed some stuff, Eddie.
I don't need a PS3, though. That time's over with already.
No. You don't know what all your friends are into retro.
That's them, not me.
Maybe you need to.
I'm not going to get into this debate again. We have a special
no. All right, yeah, we do. You're right. I'm just trying to explain it.
Yeah,
I need somebody I can ask to like throw popcorn at Eddie when he says stuff like that.
So that Resident Evil 8 Village, though.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I got Resident Evil Village. I'm playing that on PS5 right now. So
yeah, dude, I did a 7-hour stream last night. Yesterday playing Resident Evil 8 Village. I just couldn't stop. I could not stop. Yo, that tall lady, listen, listen. First of all, if you rewatch my Twitch stream, I literally baited her because there's certain rooms she can't go in, but she can get close. So I got her close to the door, and then you just see her do her little turn. You see that booty, and I'm like, dang.
Whoa, okay.
I'm telling you, they made her for a reason.
Lies. I saw you cowering in there going, nope.
Well, she's kind of scary, though. I mean, she is kind of scary, bro.
She's fine.
She kind of scary, but she also, when she's not trying to kill you and she turns around, just starts walking, you're like, all right, I can see why everyone was like, whoa, who's this 9'3" lady that's all about the thickness? It's crazy.
I'm gonna be respectful because there's ladies in the panel, but I was intrigued. I was like, whoa, okay.
Listen,
I was like, all right. I was like, okay, I'm interested.
The only disappointment I have with the game is that this is not really a spoiler, but like I thought that when they were explaining how the whole Lady Dimitris and like her castle and stuff came into play, I figured that'd be like late game because that castle's really big, right? And when you exploring it, it's still, you're in there for a while, like doing all the puzzles and stuff to do everything. I figured that'd be kind of like mid game, but that was the first boss. That's the very first area
of the game you explore.
Yeah, it's the very first area. So I was under the impression because they're like, well, this isn't the only area you explore. I'm like, yeah, but it's like the biggest one, so it should have been more mid. And I felt like the hype around Lady Dimitris was like
Domitresk.
Whatever. She's Lady Tall Lady. She's thickums.
Tall
that's
lady,
all.
yes.
but either I butcher her name, but that's what I mean. Like I figured she would be late game, but she's like the first encounter, and I figured that she'd be more of a prominent character, and I felt like I was a little disappointed. But
yeah, the marketing team was sweating bullets. We're like, oh no, she's the first person you encounter in this game. What are we gonna do? Because everyone's talking about her.
Right, because it was when you saw her, you're just like, in Resident Evil games, you get all these amazing characters, but for some reason, she was just, when they threw her design out, everyone was like, hold on, she's how tall? She's 9 feet? And she chases you, so she's like a tyrant that just looks sexy. She's a sexy tyrant. Man,
yeah, basically.
The internet's going ablaze with it. I mean, Resident Evil's always been popular, but I see this everywhere. I see all kind of memes. Some funny, some maybe a little inappropriate. But
I had to stop watching streams for a couple days because after I saw like the first bit of that castle and saw up to like one of the big encounters on it, I'm like, okay, I gotta stop because I need to play this now. I'm normally not a Resident Evil fan, but I'm like, I should play this now. So I should just stop watching so I can actually be surprised by the game, right? That's like everybody's stream now. I'm like, well, damn it, I can't support anybody right now.
Here's the thing, do not let anyone spoil the second area for you, because the second area, I did a stream of that and played that last night. legit one of the creepest, scariest things I've ever
Okay.
played in a video game ever.
Yes,
Right,
you were
but
scared,
see, the
RJ.
thing
I was
thing
scared in my
Well,
mind.
we
dude.
have to
Being
ask, we do have to ask our guests too. Are you into horror, Resident Evil, or is this interest you? This game coming up?
So I'm into horror games, but I'm not necessarily a big fan of Resident Evil.
Okay.
Mainly because I really haven't given it time. Maybe if I give it time, I would like it. But I'm more of kind of like Tim Burton style.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
more my type of style when it comes to horror games. Like recently because I stream on Twitch. So we try to do like campaigns where we try to 100% games. And my most recent game that kind of had that Tim Burton style was the Little Nightmare series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you played-
a lot of YouTubers play that.
Have you played Dark? EARQ?
I have not.
It has that same vibe. I think you dig it.
Really, I love it. I'm truly enjoying the franchise of Little Nightmares. I've completed the first one, completed the second one, and now we're gonna dive into Inside, which is another indie game. And it also has like that dark vibe to it, and it's one of those games that they really don't tell you what's going on. You kind of have to come up with your own theories of what the story is about, and that's what draws me to the game. The whole mystery and eerie atmosphere to it. So yeah, that's my type of jam when it comes to that genre.
Go sub to her. She's very we have a small, and thanks for making time for a smaller channel too. We appreciate that.
No problem.
But she's almost at 2K. So you could get her that closer to 2K. So definitely, and anyone watching on the replay, because we have some that watching.
Yeah.
Retro Bro says you passed the likability test with the Tim Burton. There's a lot. There's a lot of comments that Zap's got good taste.
Well, I
Village opens up with that Tim Burton looking.
It does. It does have.
I love it. That's like Beetlejuice. It's a perfect example. I don't know. It's just that creepiness vibe but it's not to the point that it's too gory or you know what I mean. It's that perfect line.
Yeah, you don't want like super gory, nasty stuff.
The thing I like about Little Nightmares is the story and the theories around it. I've been watching a lot of theories, and if you actually look at the story, both 1 and 2, it's very interesting how it ties together. Like the writing of that whole franchise is amazing. Like it's a really good story. I really do like Little Nightmares. It scares me though. I can't.
Yeah, no, it is. They do a great job. It's scary enough to keep you on the edge of your seat, but it's not gory. It's all about the story and the gameplay mechanics, because Little Nightmares 2, they did a great job with the gameplay mechanics. And the most impressive thing, and sorry that I'm trying to talk too much about the game, is that I truly enjoy it. It's not a AAA game. It's a mid-tier game. It's considered a mid-tier game. Because even though it's published by Bandai Namco, it's developed by Tarsier Studios. But that studio has done such a great job developing that game and making sure that the gameplay mechanics is just tight. The timing inputs are tight, and also how they adopt every element in the game to tie it into the storytelling and narration. It's just mind-blowing what that team did. And like kudos to them, because indies are stepping into the scene and they're even being nominated for game awards. Like Cuphead is another great game.
I love
Cuphead. I feel like the indie scene is really exploding now that the AAA, particularly now that the AAA scene can't steal the limelight. More and more people are going back and they're discovering things like Cuphead and Little Nightmares and stuff like Dark and all these kinds of games that they missed because they're like, oh, well, it's not my AAA game.
Among Us, yeah.
And they're really just starting to dive into these. And those developers, it's great for them because they get all this exposure and stuff.
Celeste, I think
really
it's another
need.
one, right? Celeste or Celeste?
Yeah.
Celeste,
Right?
I
never played that one. It looked cool though.
There's a lot of games.
Like Phasmophobia too.
Yeah, there are a lot of games that get really overlooked. Like there's some really good games that I played on PlayStation. I forgot what it was, like the something of light. It was like you play this little princess character with a little ball orb light and stuff. It was like an RPG style. It was really fun. I can't remember.
Is it the Blind Prince and the Liar Princess?
I think so.
It's a great game. I played it through.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great games that people just pass over and they get discovered. But yeah, little just to go off of Little Nightmares again, because like I also love it. I haven't played. I tried to play the first one, but I was like, as far as playing it, I was just like, I don't know. I'm too scared. But I watched all. I'm fast. The story is what really makes me like it like the best is the story. I watch all of the gameplay because the story is really fascinating and it's actually visually stunning, to be honest with you. It does have that atmosphere of fear, just the way they did it, and the creatures. It's just a really amazing game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with her on that. I can see why, a lot of people. I can't play it though because I get too freaked out. Those creatures are way too freaky for me. I'd probably panic and just like.
I 100% both games live. So you can imagine the challenge I had playing that game live. They heard me scream. They saw the jump scares. They saw everything, boys and girls.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to get back to that game. I've got the first one and I played it for, I want to say about an hour because I was doing a bit on my channel called like 15-minute impressions where I go through 15, 20 minutes of the game and go, is this already grabbing my attention? Is this something I'd want to invest more time in? And it's something I dropped off doing because every week I was spending $20, $30 on the game and I'm like, I can't keep this up.
Yeah, no, one thing about that game, especially the second one, that I really admire is that when you watch all these theory videos about it, there is like this gaming development company put in a lot of things that you got to really pay attention to actually understand the story more because it makes you think. I like games that make players have to think about stuff like, oh, wait a minute, this is supposed to be the hero of the story. Maybe they're not a hero after all. Maybe they're actually a bad guy. And it's like one of those things, like I love games that always challenge our thoughts, like make us have to really think about their story. That's why I think that the writing for Little Nightmares was absolutely amazing. Just how they did it, how they portrayed the characters, and just the whole product as a whole was just actually really good.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Well, check out her Twitch to see her play through so that you have to be daring to do horror games on live.
Yeah,
Saggy has a Twitch channel. She does a lot of VR, and then I tried to include a VR game, and she's like, hell no, I'm not playing that.
Listen,
it's too scary.
VR and horror games is a new level of like jump scare, dude.
Right,
it really is.
Yeah,
I got to try one. I do have the PSVR. I got sick, so I
played Blood and Truth in VR. And Blood and Truth isn't even a fear game though. But there was one scene, and I have it. I'm gonna have to re-upload it. But there's one scene where you're going into a dark room, and as soon as I saw it in VR, I was like, "Oh hell no, we are not going in this room. We are not going in this room." And it was dark. You could see me shaking, like hands were shaking.
Those are the best streams, though. That's why people love watching people play horror games, is they love to see that reaction.
Evil. Absolutely evil.
Well, can we be there for emotional support for you, like on a? I
don't feel like we provide emotional support.
Just say, Saggy, it's okay. Open the door.
I played Resident Evil 7. True story. I played Resident Evil 7 for the first time with just the controller on my TV. And then when I got the VR set, I tried to play it again in VR. And I'm not even kidding you. I didn't even go into the first house as soon as I saw how dark it was, because you can't adjust the lighting in VR. So as soon as you saw the darkness, I was like, I'm like, I'm not going in this house. Everyone's like, no, go in. I'm like, I'm not going in this house. And they're like, you already beat the game. I'm like, and I'm still not going in this house. There is no light. I got no weapons. What you want me to do?
Well, speaking of Cuphead real quick, like I loved Cuphead. I played it on Xbox and Switch. Has the DLC for that game come out yet? The Last Dessert, I think.
I don't know.
I think it got delayed again.
I'm so terrified to jump into that again because I love that game, but man, I've never cursed more in my life than I did playing that game.
That game is hard, dude. That game is really hard.
Cuphead is my cup of tea.
I love that game, but man, it's hard.
Well, I'm with you, Chris, because I saw one of your vids. I want a physical release. That's going to be hard to get if they do limited run.
Bro,
because I own it. I own it too on digital, but physical. I've been waiting limited run.
I know there's physical boxes on Xbox, but it just has like a code thing where it's like just a code. There's no
I don't
disc
want
or
that.
anything.
I got a game.
I want a
Crystal
Switch
should
card.
Play. I got a game Crystal should play.
Okay.
Inky and Bendy in the Ink Machine.
I did, girl. I did it, and I 100% that game.
Oh wow, okay.
I think my wife tapped out on that one. She picked that one up, and she's like, at one point, she's just like, nope.
Talking about
not anymore.
talking about Bendy and the Ink Machine, I don't know if you guys are aware because I do follow the studio very closely. And they've been spilling the beans, and they've been talking about they're currently in production for the sequel of Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Ooh.
So if you're a big fan of that franchise, like stay tuned because they're actually working on that project. They said that they're trying to switch up the artwork to make it even more creepier, and that what we know is going to come to a point that it might be even like fully erased because they're going to be very immersive when it comes to the story.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
You know,
If
I'm
they
curious.
put that in VR, that would be like
No, I ain't doing that
nightmare
in VR.
inducing.
No,
That's a nightmare fuel.
no, I ain't doing it in VR.
Speaking of
Absolutely
indie
not.
horror games, though, I'm just curious, Crystal, do you like Five Nights at Freddy's at all? Because I know it's a big indie
Okay,
franchise.
so you know what? Fun fact. Years ago, because I've had my YouTube channel for several years, when I started, I guess, seeing growth in a way, it was actually when I started playing Five Nights at Freddy when it first released. And I remember uploading the first Let's Plays, and everybody was laughing and cracking up because I would just scream, and like the jump scares were real. And I was like, and same as Nick, I usually try to contain myself to not cuss, but that was one of those games that pushed me to the point that I was like, hell no, I'm not messing with this game. Keep your girl out of it.
I didn't want to get into that one because I heard if you can actually like focus on that game, it's actually pretty short, and it only just focuses on jump scares. And I'm not big on just jump scares.
Well, there's like a new game coming out called Security Breach or PS5 where they're actually trying to make it a real game. So it's like real, like actual gameplay now.
So that might pull me more in.
Well, I got it on VR. They have a Five Nights at Freddy in VR, but the VR, no. See, I thought that too. So here's the thing. What the VR does is if it's a game that's in VR, it's like different. But if you could play any game in VR, it just makes it look like you have a movie screen, like a theater screen TV. Like the way it looks is just flat. So it's not like an actual, you're not into like in the game itself. So it's weird. And they had that VR, and I thought that it was going to be like actual VR. So I was excited. I was like, all right, I could do this. You know, I'm tough. But it wasn't. It was just that big flat screen. So I was like, oh, so that's what they mean by VR. It's not actually me in the game. Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. I was like, all right. But I played it.
My big problem with VR right now, and I think this is more my headset, my Oculus headset, it feels like when I'm wearing it, because I can see the edges of the headset, so it's more like I'm wearing diving goggles than an actual headset. So that kind of pulls me out of the immersion because it's not completely filling my vision, because I can see the edges of where everything sort of stops. So that sort of breaks it for me a little bit. I don't know. And I don't have enough space to really have as much fun with it as I would like, right? Because you need about 6 feet, and I've got like maybe 2. So it's not that great for me right now.
Well, thank you, Nick. Well, Crystal, you mentioned streaming a lot. Is there like if someone wants to check out your channel, when do you most likely to stream these games on Twitch?
So thankfully we have a fixed schedule. So Fridays I stream at 6 p.m. Central Time, and Saturdays I stream at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. The games we're currently streaming right now, because I do a mesh of retro and modern. So Fridays we're playing Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
That's awesome.
So we're currently playing that game. Saturdays we were playing Zelda Link's Awakening, which was my first game being formally introduced to a Zelda franchise.
Okay.
We just 100% it yesterday, actually. So now we're going to deep dive into an indie game called Inside. That's the next game that we're planning to stream on Twitch.
Okay, so she's more advanced than I am here. She's got schedule, she's got plans. Yeah. I just invite all my friends together.
Game, by the way. Yeah. I 100% of that.
Bro, I have. Let me be honest. I hope I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I'm the most honest.
You couldn't get any more than Eddie gets for looking like this on a video game.
I have a love and hate relationship with that game, bro. Because
is it because of the backtracking or what?
That's one of them, the backtracking all the time. But also, it's one of these games that I can deep dive into puzzle games, but that game in particular is so cryptic that you really have to put a lot of thought into it. What? Because you can't just like randomly go into any room. Like, no, you got to literally open that map and plan out your gameplay, because if you are stuck, believe me, it's like the worst feeling ever in that game, especially in the dungeons,
Because
which one did you play? The Switch version, or did you actually play it on like the Game Boy and Game Boy Color?
So I played the remake because I said, well, it's a perfect blend because it's still a retro game, but it's remade for the Nintendo Switch. So it would be good to see how it plays out. And I mean, graphically, I don't even need to explain. It looks beautiful. The gameplay, I will say there was certain times that I did experience some sort of clunkiness, maybe some sort of lag. But I guess, there's not going to be a 100% perfect game. It's just what it is. But overall, it does perform pretty well. But that final boss that I completed yesterday, oh my God, that's on a whole different level. I'm telling you, I raged, which I'm going to share it soon, but I freaking raged.
Right. Okay.
I raged, I cussed, I cried.
I think
broke me
in order to get
down.
100%, I think you have to like not die an entire single time to get like a special cutscene at the end. So if you're like really hardcore.
Well, the funny thing is the Switch version is actually easier to play than the Game Boy Color version because it's even more cryptic. And the items you can use, you have to switch between like your shield and everything else on the 2 buttons that you have. So you can't even keep things equipped to the left and right trigger like you can on the Switch version. So it's even more awkward to play. Wow. So if you talk clunky, try like the Game Boy version of it and you'll have a whole new appreciation for what they did with the Switch version.
I think they really, I can see Nintendo, and honestly, I wish they do that. Because even though people complain, the art style and stuff, I think it worked perfectly because I mean, at the end of the day, it's a Game Boy game. And it just opens a door of so much potential for a lot of games that were great games, masterpiece back in the day that a lot of people are not going to want to play. I'm sorry, in a retro style because they didn't grow up in that era. So having this game remade for a new audience would be pretty interesting to see. Like, I can't tell you from the top of my head, but I know there's a lot of a list of Game Boy games that we can possibly mention right now that we would want to see remade for the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Well, Crystal, are you interested in Skyward Sword HD when that comes out later this year? Like any of the 3D Zeldas?
I'm gonna be honest, not me. My husband, yes. I like, once again, I'm not a big fan of Zelda. This is like literally my first game being formally introduced into the Zelda series, so I don't have such an attachment to it. But for example, like Mr. Rightway, that's a whole different story. He really enjoys that series, so I can see him, deep diving into that game compared to maybe me.
All right, cool. I wanted to share some. I know we're off the Resident Evil, but Matt couldn't be here for today's episode. But he did share some funny shenanigans going on with some Resident Evil 8 mods already. What's with this Barney stuff? Did people see this?
Oh my God!
They modded the game on PC where all the enemies are Barney.
That is so scary.
On this topic, did you see the Thomas the Train Tall Lady?
Oh yeah, right. That I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay.
I would so play that.
Oh, you would?
Did you play that? Did you see the Little Nightmares mods where they have like the Toy Story guys chasing you and stuff?
What?
Those ones are funny.
I don't know what that's doing.
There's this YouTuber.
I should be careful with this. I
feel like scrolling through Twitter live is a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's
there's a YouTuber who all of his content is him playing all of these scary games with mods on them, and it's hilarious. He'll do different mods for all the games, and I should probably look at the channel, but I found him and I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever, just seeing all these mods of these scary games and then replacing them with like kids show characters. I'm just like, oh my God. The Bernie Sanders one for Resident Evil 7 will always be the best mod I've ever seen in my life.
Mittens.
Yeah, with him in the mittens in the chair. They're like, Bernie, why is he so scary? He's in a chair.
This is also great for some really tall cosplayers. I also was doing research. The tall lady is really hitting it off with the fandom. I don't know. I still am not into Resident Evil because and maybe I need to do a horror VR because even though I wear masks all the time on the internet, I'm horror.
You can play the entirety of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Maybe I'll do. I have to work up and do some VR streams myself and try this stuff.
The one thing I will say before we like switch topics about Resident Evil 7, I do love this game. This so far, I didn't really Resident Evil 7 wasn't the biggest thing for me. Like, okay, it was fun, but it wasn't that great. This one, however, is so much better. The only thing I would say is the way they did it. It's like the first boss, it seems to be like the most hardest because you're fighting a ton of like there's not just one boss in there. It's not just a big tall lady. There's 3 of her daughters you have to fight too. And that whole castle was probably the hardest. Everything else after that just seems like a little bit more easy. Like the second boss you fight, it's just like playing Silent Hill a little bit, and then the next boss you fight, it's not that difficult. But yeah, I would say that would be my only grievance. But the storyline and everything, the way they're doing it, I like it. It's probably one of my favorite Resident Evil games since 2. Okay. So yeah, and for anyone who wants to get into Resident Evil,
inspired by it by Resident Evil 4. Like Resident Evil 4 vibes in that game are off the charts.
Right, so, and it's visually stunning.
Zeno has like a quick hot take topic, real quick. Mods ruin games, is his opinion. Make a mockery of the developer's vision.
Okay.
Crystal was like, heck no, I'm out.
All right.
Good job, Zeno. Chase away, I guess.
What happened to Crystal?
Oh, I think she's back. Hey, Crystal, are you back?
I don't know what happened, y'all. Sorry.
That's just StreamYard. We all thought it was Zeno chasing off a guest again, so I'm glad he came back. Yeah,
Zeno,
well,
man.
Mods don't ruin games if you use them after you play the games. Mods make games that you've played more fun because now you can play the game again with just different characters and make it fun for you. But it's not like it ruins the games because most people play the game first, then they do mods because it's fun. They don't just go right off the bat playing with mods. That's crazy.
Well, we don't worry, RJ. We're gonna get to your Ace Attorney, but that's a good segue into the. Listen, the mod community has been keeping history alive. I'm sorry. I love PlayStation 2. I'm a big PlayStation
games like Fallout, man. Like the mod community saved with updates like that when games are broken.
Fallout, Skyrim has tons of mods.
I'll explain. I'm going to do a clip out from this live stream of a separate topic. It's Sony has recently, and I know Mr. Rightway is a big PlayStation fan. He has some cool PlayStation swag. He's always wearing a nice hat, nice shirt.
Max, he's a married man. Stop. He's married, okay? He's taken.
I can still talk to him eventually, hopefully.
No, he's married. Steve. You can't even talk to him. He's married.
I can talk to him.
No, he's married, Max.
I got Rayman in my background.
Yeah, wait. I'm calling it out.
But there's I think maybe even Crystal heard about the controversy about the stores, that they were going to take the stores down, and Sony's like, oh, we'll leave the stores open. But the thing is, get ready. And I try to prepare people as much as possible. Get your games now, because even though the store's open, there could be, imagine this with no games on the shelves. The games are still going to disappear frequently because the developers already planned it. The developers that might want to re-release their game. So I've been going, even though I prefer physical, some of these games are astronomical in price. I went and got Klonoa again, and I used to have Klonoa back in the day. And I went and rebought some games because I could play it on my PS Vita. But this is a reality. And the developers, I just watched someone else's video. The developer said, yeah, we want to make another game. But even though the store's open, we can't release a game past that date anyway, a new game. So the developer was already working on a game that they say, even though they're keeping the store open, it's not like new products are going to come into the store for Vita. So that's just... what are you guys' thoughts on that? It is something to be a concern for, and I keep telling people, hook up your PS3 because you got to update the firmware anyway. Get your games while you can. Although I'm not going to keep talking about Steve Crystal, but he has a great PlayStation collection.
He's married.
No, I know, but I can talk about his.
Crystal's all like, you brought me on. You're just talking about my husband.
No, I can talk about
what's going on.
I mean, his collection, though. I mean, he might not need these games. He might actually have most of them. But I'm like, wow, there's some games that I sold. I sold some of these games, and go get them while you can. What are your thoughts there, panelists, about the state of PlayStation? This could happen. the store can be open. There's no product there. They're going to be moving them. What do you got? Zod, you're into the modding, and there's nothing wrong with emulation. I don't feel if you can't get it, I try to do the right way or the legal way. But if there's no other choice, I want to play these games. You're going to have to act quick if you want to play them legally or go to the retro scene or the mod scene. Really is what we're going to be down to.
Well, you know, for me, it's all about retro, and retro is so much fun and so entertaining. But I agree with you, Max. I mean, you got to get them now while you can,
right? If
you want them in their purest form, basically.
Yeah.
I've recently got games that they're at least most of the games I bought recently the last week over $100. That every single one of them over $100 if I want to get them physical.
Oh, I looked for Into the Nexus in my collection, and I think I've got all the Ratchet and Clanks on PS3, but that game.
Yeah, that's one that jumped in price. PS3. That's also I know Eddie here is not. He's thinking about it, but nah, maybe not. The PS3. But if you're gonna get it now. I think that's also something a lot of YouTubers have been covering. If you're interested, now is the time to collect because it's only going up. I actually just ordered Into the Nexus, Nick, because the new Ratchet and Clank. Did you? Stuff, yeah, because
I looked at the price and I couldn't, man. I can't do that.
That's how long I wait. I didn't hear back from a day, and I'm like, okay, I got it.
Well, I looked this morning, man. You didn't give me even like 12 hours. What the heck?
Well, maybe here's a question for the panel. Is it more? If you're a collector, is it better to actually collect retro or buy the new products when they come out? I say wait on the new products. They're going to go down in price.
I mean,
and get the retro.
I think as a collector, it's a collector's what the collector wants to collect. I think if they want to collect retro, they collect retro. But I think as far as collectors like to collect everything, whether it's retro or new. I think overall it's just the whole idea of just collecting. Doesn't matter if it's old or new. It's just like if it's something you're interested in, whether it's like an old Zelda game or the remake, I can see collectors having both just because, like, why not?
Well, I mean, maybe my question more be geared towards where do you get your bang for your buck? I think
bang for your bunk.
But bang for your
I knew somebody was going to say it. I was avoiding it.
Bang for your buck. I say retro.
Bang for your buck.
And then I'm trying to hold off as much as I can, even though I have a PS5. I'm like, I'll go back and get the old Ratchet game before I get the new one.
I mean, you have to think about collectors, though. Are collectors collecting these things because of the value or because of just they want it part of their collection? Because it's a little. I think it'd be a little bit of both for most people. It's like if this is something I want to have, it's something I want to have because it's rare. It's something that I have.
No, I want to play it too, and
right.
I always took it for granted that it was there and very cheap. Like it was there for a long time. For like $20, and now all of a sudden it's like 50, 60, 70.
Dude, you go to GameStop and you see some of these old school like cartridges for old Game Boy games, which were like what, like $20, $30 at the time, and you see them now, they're about $200 just for one little game that most people don't have. It's rare now, so it is interesting how things become valuable over time.
Yeah. And I think realistically, when it comes to collecting, you've got two types of collectors. Got the ones that are completionists. They have to have every variant, and they have to have everything, and they have to have every version of it. And then you've got those that just collect the things that they really like, right? And things that they're passionate about. And that may not be everything in a line. It may just be certain characters or certain ones that you want, which is more where I fall into. Unfortunately, that one doesn't work well on the platform that we're on. People want that completionist thing. They really like to watch somebody who gets all of them. You know what I mean? But it's just, I don't think that's most people. I think most people collect things that they have memories of or things that they have an attachment to, not every single thing for a particular system.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting topic, and I do want to step into that because I am a huge advocate for emulation, even though people try to tag it as a gray area. The way I see it is if the game is not being produced anymore in the market to being sold, then you're not doing anything illegal. You're just trying to find a way to preserve the game. If we're talking about true preservation, that is where emulation comes in.
That's
because
what it's all about.
We're trying to keep these ROMs running and alive for someone that at the end of the day doesn't have the budget to go for a complete set.
Right.
And some people, even if they have the money, they don't want to buy the games. Like they don't have the space to put that. It's not like you're running a museum in your house. There's different
some of us on the panel
standpoints as a
do.
collector, and the thing is, like, when you emulate games, that's something people do not know. They're literally fixing it and making it even better, because a lot of these games sometimes were broke because of the limitations of resources that developers had. So a lot of these teams step in and fix those bugs or fix the gameplay so it actually runs smoother. And a perfect example is the Sega, the Dreamcast. It is such a hard console to emulate that they're still trying to crack open the code to make these games run. Even Nintendo.
They've done it. It works.
I don't have a problem with it on. I've got a Pi 3 and a Pi 4.
Yeah.
Neither one of those have trouble running it. They run it really easily now.
Yeah, and it's like, for example, Nintendo, like a lot of people complain, because I see that people complaining from a customer standpoint, but you gotta visualize things from a business standpoint too, which is kind of the boring way that people don't really want to see things, but it's the truth. It's a business at the end of the day. Like, for example, PlayStation, that's a storefront. Storefront costs money to maintain and keep it running. And you should be blessed for the fact that after so many years, the storefront is still running, when at the end of the day, they could just close it because it's costing them money. They have no obligation to keep it running. If they're keeping it running, is for the sake of maybe developers that still have things in dev, or like now that they notice that there's such a strong community, of hardcore gamers that want these games still, that may be not necessarily they can afford picking it up in a physical copy. Like, for example, I'm going to be very realistic. I'm like Nick. I'm not a completionist. Even if I had the money, I would still maybe not be a completionist, because I like collecting games that click with me that I had in my childhood. I'm more of a subset, a theme set, stuff like that. Like, for example, a rare game that people consider rare, which I don't even know why they use that term, but you know where I'm going, is Panic Restaurant. I love Panic Restaurant. I don't like it for the price because it costs almost the same as a car right now. It's almost in that $2,500. And still, if you ask me, would I collect it just because for the collector reason, or would I collect it because I truly enjoy the game? I would tell you I truly enjoy the game, but am I gonna really spend $2,500 on a game? That's where I feel like people need to understand, because it's always like, well, yes, you have to have every game. You have to own every game. Yes, but do you have the budget? Because like the Flintstone Surprise and Dinosaur Peak is it's $1,500, y'all.
Oh yeah, if I know you'd like that. Yeah.
$1,500, you know where that's gonna go? Towards my credit cards, towards paying a bill, towards
a new arcade cabinet.
So exactly, like tweaking or modding some. That money can go into so many places. Like, I understand the value. Yes, yeah, you'll have a value, monetarily in a collection. But at the end of the day, like, if you don't leave a will and you don't let your family know about these things, guess what's going to happen? Like a lot of stuff on the news, someone passes away, the family truly doesn't understand the value of these games or something, and they're not going to know how to sell them or keep them or what to do with them, because they don't have the proper education on what this is about.
That's a good point. What's your end goal? I mean, just game. I kind of feel you, Crystal.
Yeah.
Play the games, have fun with the games. If you can do it the legal way, I'm sure we endorse that. But if you can't, what's more important? Someone experiencing it, really.
Yeah, because I think is like, if we're talking about preservation, let's be realistic. If we're talking about preservation, even if people say, well, I'm preserving it, it's still in your house. It's limited in your room.
Okay.
It's not like it's an open entrance and a general admission where everybody can go and enjoy it. Like, if we're talking about preservation, open a museum, like, for example, our video game museum in Texas, where all the games are in one place and everybody can truly go and enjoy the experience and enjoy the history. Like that for me is true preservation. Like, yes, you're going to preserve it, but when you die, where these games are going.
Well, thanks a lot, Crystal, because now you opened my panel to say, am I going to be in Max's will? You think that's the only way she's getting well, Saggy also unfortunately has to say bye because she has to go to work. She's covering for another coworker that's a mother on Mother's Day, but she really wanted to be here longer, but she has to head out. So Saggy, sorry. That's a nice thing you're doing there for your coworker.
Bye, Saggy.
Bye, Saggy.
Are you still there? Maybe she left already. I don't know.
She said she was getting ready and then she'd get on again.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, I misread it.
Another thing to piggyback onto Crystal's statement is too, in a lot of ways, even when these games are remade, they're not the same. Like look at Link's Awakening. It's not the same game it was on the Game Boy Color. So a lot of times emulation is the only way to play these games in their original state from that point moving forward, unless you can keep a physical copy of it. And like Zeno said in chat, the physical copies eventually break down, right? The discs suffer from disk rot, carts suffer from the connectors going back,
that, Nick,
and it's very difficult to run them anymore.
It's like they remake the games too, and then when they get re-released, even if they're just like they just take the ROMs and dump the ROMs, when a company relicense it and they re-release it, what ends up happening is the game gets altered from its original form. So you never have a copy of the actual original game. It just becomes another port.
Yeah, that's why it's called a remake, y'all. Just in case, just so you know, a remake involves altering audio, altering the graphics, and if it's a complete remake, it even might tweak the storyline or even the gameplay mechanics. We're talking about depth standpoint here, and also like people got to understand, there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's something wrong with physical collecting. I endorse it. But we got to understand too, not everybody can do it, because even if you own a physical copy, to run this, you need a CRT, you need the cables, you need the console, you need to make sure it's all running. And some of these things are even expensive to get. You know, it's even hard to find because these companies don't produce these things anymore. You know what I mean? And then we got some companies stepping in to fill in that void, to fill in that gap, because there's no way to get them. You know,
even some of those are really expensive too, because you look at like the NT system that runs like Famicom games and NES games. That's a $500. That's the cost of a PS5.
Yep.
For that.
Cable's ridiculously expensive. You look on Amazon, eBay, wherever you go to buy your stuff, and just to get a cable to connect to a TV, sometimes to run it from an original console, it's like almost like $100 or $100. It's ridiculous.
I was just gonna say, look at for the state of collecting, it's insane. Look at Neo Geo.
Yes.
I mean, those games.
Neo Geo started bad.
Those games are notoriously simple to emulate. You can emulate those games on a potato if you know how to do the connections correctly. And the price of the games, if you want to buy the physical media, if you happen to own an original Neo Geo piece of hardware, you're talking about tons and tons of money. You're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's kind of like the when you hear the term, and I'm sorry, it's become a fad in the years that I've been on YouTube. It's like when people talk about hidden gems where? It doesn't exist anymore, because as soon as you see 4 or 5 videos of YouTubers talking about the supposedly hidden gems, it's not a hidden gem anymore.
I was going to do a hidden gem video.
No, and the thing is, like,
I've had this conversation multiple times. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, because I'm like, as you see 5 videos of the YouTuber saying, "Well, here's my top 5 hidden gems. Check it out." Yeah, and then not only that
video, Crystal. I was planning.
Sorry, Max. I gotta bring it up. I got it.
I almost started a series like that. The more I dug into it, I went, "No, don't do that."
I'm gonna give you. I'll give you a shout out when I make it.
Give me a shout out.
ZapTv. This is my Mad Max hidden gems.
But the thing is, like, the other factor is, as soon as you see that game skyrocket in price, it's also not considered a hidden gem anymore, because the more people go and seek and purchase it, there's a fluctuation in price. It's skyrocketing. And then on top of that, we have collectors that grade their games
which loses the purpose about collecting at the end of the day.
That's what happened to Sapphire for the PC Engine. That's what happened to Dracula X Rondo of Blood for PC Engine. Those games, when they got super expensive, everybody was trying to find it on eBay, acting like it was a rare game.
Yes.
And now everybody and their mother is selling it for super high prices. It's really not rare anymore. It's
you gotta sell a leg and an arm to get that game. You telling me that?
Yeah.
So I feel like you could say anything. PC Engine, and it's expensive.
Network Hidden Gems video coming soon. Shout out to Crystal. We have to cover this, or RJ's not going to come on the show anymore. Boo.
Yeah, I'm about to go on a huge tangent, so just please excuse me if you guys snore. I understand. So,
oh my goodness, RJ. RJ's been waiting all stream to talk about this as patiently as Eddie.
Eddie waits.
I want to be as comfortable
patience.
as Rhea right now.
We should all be as comfortable as Rhea right now. She looks legit relaxed.
Yeah.
All right, RJ, the floor is yours. RJ, the floor is yours. Let's talk about Ace.
Yeah. Sorry about your connection, Ray. I know
Wi-Fi
is crazy. So
yeah, she's out of town and she still wanted to make
before
the show.
he goes on his thing, this is probably a good time for me to dip. Okay. I do have to go to work, unfortunately. But I just
you have to do that? You
Yeah.
don't just YouTube?
Yeah, I don't just YouTube.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I can't make all my monies by streaming. Someday I'll get there. But no, honestly, love you guys. Crystal, it was a pleasure meeting you. I look forward to getting to know your content. Please, everyone, if you're watching this on the replay, especially go give Zap Crystal and her husband a subscription. Especially her husband, because we all know that Max is trying to weasel his way in.
Oh no!
He's trying to steal.
Why are you gonna lay that? Why are you gonna lay that heat on the way out? I Zap Crystal first.
We're pulling it out.
And then she's talking about Mr. Lightweight. I'm like,
you're going through his wife to get to him. We see you, Max. We see you.
No,
we see
I reached out Zap Crystal first. I haven't even talked to Steve yet. I subbed to him.
You're trying to talk to Steve. I see it.
I want to for sure.
Yeah, I see exactly. See, because we're exposing.
No, but I like them both. They're both genuine people. Like they're both really genuine people in this community, and I think it's also really interesting to hear Crystal's takes on like hidden gems videos and stuff. Because I'm like, didn't Steve make a few of those? That's why I'm like, whoa, there's some really different personalities with the, I'm interested to hear you back and forth on that.
I do. It sucks that I have to leave because I would love to pick her brain about how her and her husband go about like the video games and stuff. They have opposing opinions and stuff. That'd be a great topic. But much love. I'll see you guys later. Have a great rest of your stream, y'all.
Yeah, thanks, Saggy, for laying out the heat.
You're welcome, Max. Yeah. He's married, Max. He's married. Okay.
Married. You knew she was going to do that as she left, man. You knew.
You knew.
You should have known.
You should have known. Married.
Yeah.
Ring and all. The video is on the page. Married.
Okay. I get it.
Bye, Saggy.
Okay, bye. Love y'all. Bye.
All right, so RJ, hey Crystal, yes. do you like the Ace Attorney series? That is Nintendo a lot. I haven't really gone into the series. No. RJ, the floor is yours.
No,
I haven't gotten into this series. I have no idea because I know that mainly, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is like unknown territory for me. But I think this was more known for handheld, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Initially, these games were on the 3DS.
Oh, okay.
They put out a new collection of the first 3 games on a PS4, Xbox, Switch, and Steam. So I'm about to go. Like I said, I'm about to go at tangent here because this is bigger than people realize. So I have to explain because it's like a very complicated history. So the thing with these games, the Great Ace Attorney, initially called, I don't remember the Japanese name. Basically, like these games came out about 6 years ago, 2015, 2017. People thought they would never, ever, 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 ever come to the United States and like the rest of the world, right? Reason being is because in these games, it's a prequel to the main series, and one of the characters is actually Sherlock Holmes. So what happened was that there was, so the guy in the left with the gun, that's Sherlock Holmes. So what happened was that the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle estate, the people who like, the author of Sherlock Holmes, they have a weird thing with the rights issues to the character Sherlock Holmes, to where like nobody else can use it. It's like a weird thing. So I believe either they worked it out or he went into the public domain. So now they can actually bring these games to the West, right? It's been about 7 years since these games came out, and they were 3DS games. So here's the funny thing about this, right? So they're finally bringing them back. They've renamed a lot of the characters. Like, it's no longer Sherlock Holmes and Watson. It's like Herlock Smomes and something else. Like, they had to localize the names differently. But yeah, I mean, this just makes me like super happy because I love the Ace Attorney series. That nobody ever thought we were getting these games. It just shows how important localization is 7 years later.
Well, that's great.
These modern platforms and stuff. So I mean, hey, check out the series, man. It's a lot of fun. They're good. I guess they are technically visual novel games, but they like you're a detective and stuff. I mean, it's a major Capcom IP, so.
So what type of genre it is? Because you said it's a visual novel game. So is it like a point and click? Is it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, point and click.
Oh, okay. All right.
A lot of what you do with the gameplay, at least on the first 2 or so that I played on the DS, is you'll enter into a room doing your investigation sequence, which is you'll get stuck there if you don't know where everything is, just clicking on different parts of the screen, trying to find the last thing you need to do. Because you need all these items when you go into the court sequence, which is the more action-oriented sequence, right? Where you can present different evidence and answer different questions different ways, right? Okay. So you have to have all those pieces before you go into that section, and then you have to answer you have to answer things in a certain sequence in order to win the court case, right? But that's where all the main comedy ensues. Like on one of them, I think you put a killer whale on the witness stand.
It's like
craziness.
It's like some wacky stuff, man. The series is so funny. They have great stories, great characters. Like I said, they put the first 3 games in a collection that's out on Switch, PS4, Xbox, and Steam.
That's good because they keep their price, right? They're talking about.
Well, the thing about this great Ace Attorney collection, though, if you want a physical copy, the only physical copy you're going to get where all the games on the cartridge is going to be on the Switch. Everything else is going to be digital. So if you're into physical collecting, you got to get it for the Switch.
So when you compare it to, I know it's not exactly the same genre, but it kind of reminded me all of a sudden while you were explaining it to LA Noire. You know how?
Yeah. I mean, that's more of like an action-oriented version of that.
Thank you, Max.
Okay, yeah, because I was immediately it just kind of reminded me of that LA, which LA Noire is a good game, y'all. Yeah. I love that game, by the way.
Did you ever play Secret of Monkey Island or
I remember a good lawyer game that came out a long time ago on early computers called In the First Degree. Does anybody remember that game?
Oh my god!
No, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
From early Windows.
That's another level's odd.
Going down that rabbit hole.
I just hope that this whole thing, though, because we still need the Apollo Justice trilogy to get modern ports, and we need there's some other games that never came outside of Japan. So
that's great that fans are getting something that they couldn't before, and they don't have to import. This is
like the Snyder cut of video games. Okay, nobody ever thought this could happen.
Really?
They actually made a reality.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. This means a lot to the Ace Attorney fans, dude. This means a lot.
Well, Nintendo's done that, made things and never released them, in different regions. And then
every Japanese company does that, though. I mean, you see that all the time.
Well, here is a collector warning. I do get limited run, but Castlevania. I sold my NES Castlevania carts and my Genesis. This is going to be for the Switch, and some of these are going to sell out right away. Next week, if anyone's, I'm not sure if I could do that.
I just submitted an order talking about limited runs. In this case, I'm a big supporter of the indie games, obviously, because we've been talking about them. So I've pre-ordered the collector's edition for Bugs Fables because they finally are getting a physical copy, and it's just pretty dope, that collector's edition. Not gonna lie. So
that's interesting.
It's okay. So I'm gonna give it a quick overview. Not going to stay too long on this topic, but if you're wondering what Bugs Fables is about, if you're a huge fan of the original Paper Mario series, that's basically what it is. It's a love letter to the Paper Mario series, but legit how you would play it back in the day for the Nintendo 64.
Before that, they started.
You just got RJ's attention.
Yeah,
but instead of Paper Mario, it's about bugs, but it's so good. It's so good. It's and the storytelling is so funny and quirky. It's just a very lighthearted game. So much fun to play.
Yeah, and to
Good
go off what
recommendation.
Rhea said real quick, with Persona, I think Sony bought some of the rights to that, so they get Persona as an exclusive franchise for them. It did. Some of the games are coming to PC though. I'm just waiting for Shin Megami Tensei 5 for Switch, man. I'm waiting for that game so much.
Yeah, Sony's been getting a little more flexible over the years about bringing some of their stuff to the PC. They've been hardcore about keeping that on their console, but now you're starting to see someone like Horizon and stuff like that pop up on stuff like Steam, which is a smart move for them because they can charge you $60, $70 for it again and not hardly do anything for it. And PC gamers will pick it up because if you're a hardcore PC gamer, which I'm not because I generally own consoles and PC, that's the first time those people have been able to touch that game.
Well, just trust me, guys. I know the chat's, something to the chat in the panel because I told Crystal it's only going to be like an hour, so we'll do about like 15 more minutes. So we'll maybe cover a few more topics. If you have any more questions for Crystal before we end the show, and we appreciate her giving her time today.
Absolutely.
Okay, but yeah, thanks for sharing that too for Crystal for the recommendation. If you're into old school Nintendo Paper Mario. And then RJ, if you're into Ace Attorney, that's a great thing for fans.
I also recommend. Can we talk about Castlevania now?
Yes.
Well, I thought I did. Well, it's the limited run. What would you like to add?
I'm just saying. I think the limited run collection looks amazing, and even though I do own it digitally on the PS4, I'm planning on picking this up because it's. As a true Castlevania fan, I think it's amazing.
Well, here's my harshest critic, my longtime viewer, Zeno. But we have to be respectful of people's time, because people have lives outside of this. They
it's Mother's Day.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day.
Nice
Come on, Zeno. Come on, Zeno. I do limit the show to an hour 30 minutes at the most. Yes.
Actually, I should ask real quick, Rhea, are you into Danganronpa at all?
What?
Danganronpa.
Haven't played it.
Okay.
I don't know.
So Danganronpa is kind of like Ace Attorney, where like you're investigating murders, but it's like high school stuff, and it's like super violent and like a lot more adult humor. Ace Attorney is like the Disney version of that. So I don't know. I'm just into games like that, man.
Here's a game that I'm really excited about. It's actually Konami releasing a new game. I'm not going to show the audio, but just the trailer.
Wait, Konami still makes games?
That's another.
I mean, that's too
right. That's another reason to.
Slot machines are games.
That's true.
Pachinko machines are games.
That's true.
Don't validate that,
very true.
Don't validate that, Rhea.
That's true.
Don't support their bad behavior.
Well, here's GetsuFumaDen Undying Moon. I just love the art style in this. It's amazing to me. This is a good way to come back, and to me, I think it's an old IP too. I never even heard of it. Look at this art style. There's no audio, so anyone want to say that?
Fascinating.
This reminds me of like
a pachinko game, though, right?
This reminds me of like Konami doing what Konami used to be good
amazing. No, this is like next level art style to me.
Is Konami developing this?
Like almost like a Castlevania art style in a way.
So where do I pay? Where do I put my money in so I can pay for the next 5 minutes?
I didn't look up prices or release dates. I just saw the trailer and I was like, I got to cover this.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if Konami's only publishing this or they're actually like developing this because that's different.
True.
I think they are using. They're just publishing it from a third-party developer, but it's good they're working. It's good it's coming to market though. And I got a research physical. Look at this.
That looks like it's almost like hand drawn, like a watercolor.
This reminds me a little bit of like Cuphead in art style, just like a slightly different take. It's a kind of hand drawn art style brought to life.
Yeah,
which is great.
It reminds me a lot of Bloodstained, actually.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
okay,
all
me and
about
Crystal
this,
are best friends now. She apparently loves Bloodstained.
It immediately draw me. It has kind of like also that pop-up book style.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be hard though, doesn't it?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, kind of like Hades.
It's going to be fun. That's for sure.
Yeah, Hades was.
Hopefully, it's not a mobile.
I can't get into Hades. I keep trying. I can't get into it.
Hades is it's one of a kind.
You just gotta keep playing, man. It's gonna hook you eventually, I promise.
I've dumped like 15 hours into it. And I just don't care for it.
Well, see, I might, even though I want Ratchet and Clank, the new one so bad. This is one I'm gonna have to, because this is the type of project Well, Ratchet and Clank needs its support on day one too. It's just that $70 price tag.
I actually got Returnal.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I've been playing it. It's legit. Like I'm telling you, Max, if you buy it, it's like a rogue. Like I'd say it's like Hades meets Dark Souls meets like a Resogun.
See, I've been avoiding it because of the 2 to 2.5 hours per run. A lot of times I have maybe an hour to dedicate.
Long, man, but like it's definitely a challenging game. It's like every time you die, you reset your progress, but you get to keep some of the weapons and items you find. So that way, in the next run, you can try and do better. And like it's procedurally generated worlds, so you have to try and get to the end to beat the boss and get to the next area without dying.
See, I really wanted that game, but I think I'm gonna wait till it drops a little bit. But I'm glad you enjoy it though. I have to pick and choose. Although it's weird. Like I have no problem paying more for limited run. But then for a new game that's like disc-based where you're going to have to download stuff, I just know it's going to drop in price.
It's because you're a boomer. It's because you're a boomer, Max.
Doomer boomer, yeah. There's another...
No, I can't wait for Ratchet and Clank, though. I'm definitely buying that day one.
I'm going to buy Ratchet and Clank day one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I will look out for your vids then. I just got into the Nexus, so I think I'm going to wait a little bit because I saw the price going up and up and up. See, here's a site that I just found the other day because of their plushies. I have you ever checked out?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
I love that you brought that up because I have a certain game that I've been putting too many hours. It's kind of like my guilty pleasure, and I've been looking at this website for stuff.
Well, I like Shantae. That's how I found out.
Oh my God, they had a.
That's adorable.
And then I saw this Conquer, and I'm like, oh my God, I need this Conquer.
What?
They have a strong bad on there. You went right past strong bad.
Look at that image of Conquer.
Oh my God, that's
that's great.
Look, here's the one. And I sold my N64 Conquer in box a couple years ago.
No.
But because I have the game on Xbox too.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I might have to get that. But that and the Shantae is the ones. Well, which one were you? Which one were you looking at, Crystal?
Strong bad.
So you know how you have a game for every type of mood that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this game that it's kind of like for my chill mode when I need to calm down after a stressful week. And I've been putting more than 100 hours into Stardew Valley, which I never thought I would enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, my wife loves that game.
It's kind of like Animal Crossing, right?
No, it's believe me, it's a whole different level. Because
it's Harvest Moon, only like 10 times better.
Yeah, because it's not your typical farming game. It's not just farming. It's you fight, you go mining, you do a bunch of stuff. Like there's people that even speed run that game right now. And so I just put like more than 100 hours. I started reviewing as a review, and then I just got hooked, and that's what I play now in my free time. And then I just said, I'm going to go on this website and check for merch.
Stardew Valley?
Yeah.
Let me see what comes up.
Right now, so just to give you an idea, that's how hooked I am. There's this mine, and you can't save. There's no checkpoint. There's no way to make progress. You have an entire day to try to make it before 2 a.m. in the morning. And one of the missions is you got to make it to level 100 in the Skull Caverns. Wow. And so you got to be like ready with stairs, with bombs, with upgraded weapons, because you got to slaughter a bunch of monsters down there, serpents, all types of stuff, craziness happens down there. And make it a goal to see if you can actually make it to level 100. Because if you don't, guess what? The next day you got to start all over again from level 1.
All right. Yeah. So definitely check that out too. I appreciate this type of game. It's not like fits into my type of game, but I appreciate and I like the art style a lot. It's really cool. And this site I shouldn't go onto the site. I have hard enough time catching. I have hard enough.
There was an amazing Banjo-Kazooie plushie I saw.
Yeah.
Yes, I just saw that.
The Jengos.
Yeah, go down.
No.
Oh, there's that one.
That one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is so dope.
Oh my goodness. I can't.
Oh, he has a little backpack where it comes.
Oh
my God.
Oh my goodness.
All right, that's added to my wish list.
That's pretty great.
All right, I gotta close this now. I'm sorry.
You're gonna make me spend all my money, man.
Why are you doing that?
I already found a tankard on there that I want.
Oh boy.
Or a Monster Hunter that looks really cool.
All right, so I appreciate Crystal coming on. Any final comments you want to? We'll go one by one to the panel and want to talk to Crystal about, or plans, or whatever. Go right ahead before we end the show. And again, thank you for everyone making the time, because it's busy lives right now. Making the time to collab and talk about gaming. So
thank you, Crystal, for coming. You're awesome. This
Yep.
was so much fun, and it's awesome to see somebody else who has a amazing love for retro gaming as well.
Oh, thanks.
That's
And we
awesome.
wish you a very happy, relaxing Mother's Day with your family.
Oh God, yes, please. Finally, if I could get it.
and I hope you get that dinosaur peak in the future, even though you're not going to pay.
No, I'm not gonna pay for it unless somebody sends it to me through the mail. And they're like, "Here you go. That's a gift." I'm like, "I love y'all."
Here is her channel. Okay, Eddie, you have anything nice to say or anything? Okay, Nick. Just kidding, Eddie. We love you, Eddie. Come back to the gaming, Eddie.
Wow.
Okay. All right, Nick.
I was going to say something until you just said that. So.
Oh, I'm just kidding with you, man. I'm just kidding. Come on, Eddie. Go ahead. Say something.
Yeah, thank you for being here, for taking the time. It is something nice to hear more subject matter and just talking about the same thing over again. But yeah, I appreciate it. I do. Even though it's none of this stuff is for me. Just hearing you guys, happy and talking about that stuff. It's great just to see people enjoy the things they do.
Oh, that's nice, Eddie. Thank you. All right.
I was thinking about her, not you guys. So.
Oh, this is Eddie's humor. Okay, thanks, Eddie. We appreciate it. Nick.
It was awesome meeting Crystal. I think she's a great addition to the panel. She could show up again. I think that'd be awesome. She had a lot of great insights and a lot of great takes on things, and I really appreciated that. So I went ahead and subbed to both their channels just to kind of get a feel for their content and stuff. I got so many channels now, I can't keep on top of
I'm
them
sure
anymore.
she'll be at 2K soon.
Can I just mention, because I Nick brought that up, and I think it's very important. Some people have asked us why we have like separate channels, and the truth is that like before I got married to him, I've been doing YouTube for several years, so I've already have had my channel established. And the point is that we have different points of view, different standpoints, and our channels have very different goals. Because, like, for example, Mr. Rightway, for those that you don't know, he's more of a full-time collector, so his channel is fully based on like more collecting tips, more for the collector side. Me, on the other hand, I'm more targeted to like retro childhood memories, 90s nostalgia. It's more journalism because I have to go all the time to conventions, interview developers, teams, studios. So it's a whole different take, a whole different world. So if you guys think that you're going to encounter the same similar content, no, it's very different.
That's why I was like, yeah. I knew you had differences of opinion, but like when you were talking earlier about in-depth videos, like, oh, really?
Yeah, but
that was great. That was great, though.
It's amazing, though, because even though he and I think differently, he has been opening up more to listening, and different takes, because it's like I said, it's like it depends your background, how you were raised, and mainly your experiences, and that's just going to mature and change your lens, how you see life, basically, and that's for everything, even for hobbies.
And then if you ever want to talk movies and TV shows too, we our panel, we're all into that. Like my movie talk channel's decent size. This we're trying to grow from the ground up because we all like movies and gaming. So if you ever want to get into the movie talk game, let us know.
Is it modern movies, or is it like, can we talk about like
retro, modern?
Anything.
We're really into Marvel. We're huge DC fans.
I love Back to the Future. So
yeah, Crystal, you're already my favorite, man. Back to
I like Crystal even more now.
Okay, Ray, did you want to? Oh, did Ray go already?
No, she did.
Yes,
not.
I was.
She's trying
to relaxing and all that.
Okay, she's trying really hard to. She's out of town, so it's bad signal. Weak signal. She's using what is it? The meme that's going out using Starbucks Wi-Fi or something, or
No,
I don't know.
McDonald's
Using
Wi-Fi.
McDonald's.
KFC Wi-Fi.
Yes. And our RJ.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's always a pleasure. It was awesome to meet Crystal and everything. Thank you for letting me talk about Ace Attorney. I know some people are like, who cares about this? But it meant a lot to me. I'm excited for that.
I'm with you, RJ. I think it's cool.
No, we like to have differences of opinion, and we appreciate that someone has their genre, even if it's not for you. We really try to promote that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, because right now on my channel I'm playing Resident Evil Village. So if you guys want to see more of that,
here's Mr. Right Way's channel too. If you want to collect the right way, I believe he's his slogan.
You got to do it the right way.
and then maybe Crystal, when we end the show, she can end with her slogan, and we'll just end the show. And we'll say goodbye off screen but thanks for watching. Also, chat. What's your saying on ZapTv?
Well, to all of your beautiful peeps, stay right in, game on.
Oh, that's a great way to end it. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone.